shit. Hey, no, Tom. So we're taking a look at more D&D horror, RPG horror stories, not D&D horror stories.
You okay there, buddy? Kinda tired?
Tired, don't feel well. Not quite sick, just allergies.
And I see we've started to develop a theme here, or we're starting to see the cusp of one. Me and you do RPG horror stories when Tom's gone, and when I'm gone, you'll do freaking neckbeard stories.
Well, the whole thing is it's easier to find RPG horror stories that are enjoyable to read than it is neckbeard stories.
So that's why you forced Tom to do them with you?
Man, the fact that I'm pretty sure that neckbeard stories will kill you.
Kill me? Hey man, if I can't even kill myself, then those stories can't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sorry, that was a really dark joke. After I said it in my head, and I'm like, this will be fine. And then it came out, and I was like, huh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're doing a set of stories by Redditor Rortherntheweeper.
Nice name, dude.
Yep. And it's his Temple of Elemental Evil Run series, of which there are 2.
Let's see. Elemental Evil, Dungeons and Dragons. Apocalyptic cults of Elemental Evil are building secrets. Sorry.
I think that's the one that gave us Genasi. I'm not sure.
It's about a bunch of elemental cults, I think, though.
Okay, because the whole thing with Genasi is that they're supposed to be like the descendants of genies, and in D&D, I think genies are basically elemental beings.
Oh,
so
I think I know.
Fire genies, water genies, air genies.
Yeah, each cult is devoted to one of the princes of elemental evil, godlike entities embodying air, earth, fire, and water, and is led by a nihilistic prophet corrupted by power. So yeah, maybe the Genasis are related to that in some way.
Good chance of that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, this isn't about, reading the entire plot of, whatever this is.
Elemental Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to start with part 1, A Temple of Elemental Evil Run. That guy number 1, or how trying to role-playing is apparently gay. Warning, homophobic language down below. That guy was that kind of ass.
Alright. A group I had recently become friendly with had invited me to be part of a run of Temple of Elemental Evil. This was the first D&D game I had played in a long time, specifically 3.5, so I decided to play simple and fill a gap in the party makeup, a brute barbarian. His name was... Her?
Yeah.
Alright, I want to call him... Yeah, he's Human Resources. And was
yeah.
a barbarian who was cursed by Groomish to become a mad berserker. Not the prestige class, I'm not that crazy. We need to prove his worthy by accomplishing 10 great labors to restore his mind and cleanse his soul, or else be stuck as a near feral monster forever. And yes, this is half-orc Heracles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human Resources. I'm just imagining like a worker complaint form gets handed into Human Resources, and then the lady behind the counter just fucking suplexes the person who did it. Not the person who handed in the form, the person who's has the complaint filed against them.
Yeah. I heard you were flirting with some of the other workers. Please stop! Breaks his arm.
Just German suplex. Right onto his dome.
Oof.
I played him almost like a dog or golem, and to go along with this, whenever HR was commanded to do something, I'd make a D20 roll plus or minus a modifier on how much HR considered the person as a friend or at least as allies. It's not a bad idea.
That's kind of like how every once in a while I say, roll wisdom to see if you're smart or not.
Yeah, I might have a character who does that at some point. I kind of wish I had Cryella do that, but nobody was really telling her what to do. She was just doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm. Her, quote-unquote companion, our little fairy bastard, was kind of, she was very supportive, if anything, up until the point where she left her in the snow, but let's not get into that.
I mean, if what I did talk with Tom about does happen, she won't stay dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's not allowed to. Which is why I'm not playing her. Or if it was, I'd have it to where like I'd play her up to the point she died and then use her in another campaign in the same setting. Like she died, alright, I'll pull out a different character, and then later on. It's like you were dead. I was.
Getting down the mountain must have been tough.
Just gets up, walks a bit, dies again.
Mm-hmm.
Just rinse and repeat down the mountain. I wasn't alone, I think. If it was a 1 to 9, he'd just ignore the order. But anything above that, he'd obey without regard to himself. If it was worse than 1, though, he'd react badly. I just want to get out of the way that yes, I had gone to both the DM and most of the players. Some joined later. And when I asked if I could play like this, everyone said it would be fine as so long as I didn't go too far. And since I was just starting to fit into this circle of friends, I was willing to play it safe. Then came the Kobold Lover.
I could call him the Bard since that was technically his class, but no. He will always be the Kobold Lover for reasons beyond this game into real-life garbage involving forcing his fetishes into the game in ways no one felt comfortable. Did weird and nasty things to them in-game, and what we learned after this all went down was an real-life incident that could very well be classified as sexual assault against a minor involving kobolds.
See, that's what you should just do what I do and have it to where every overly tall race you play is female.
The dude had been friends, quotations, well, not really quotations, they're, half quotations since there's only one, with the group for a while, and I had briefly played with him in Only WAWR, where he proceeded to get drunk IRL and walk out halfway through the session, never to return. That was one of the better moments I had with him.
I'm trying to remember what that is, because I've heard of it before. Only WAWR.
It's a Warhammer 40k thing.
Okay, yeah. Only WAWR has a large amount of high quality female guardsman artwork, which makes sense considering the appeal. I wasn't expecting that to be the first thing on 1D4chan. Knowing 4chan. That's interesting. In this game, he played an illusionist bard who focused on mind-affecting spells and such, which turned out to be a pretty bad build in a dungeon filled with monsters and other creatures whose those spells don't work on due to either not being humanoid or not alive.
Oops.
I'm just thinking about the fact that I've yet to have a chance to use Crown of Madness.
Yeah.
Can't exactly use that on a Pterodon. Beyond that, in the first session, he was all right, helping figure out the puzzle to get into the temple proper. After that is when the dumpster fire began.
Inside the temple, we ran into some sort of prison area where 2 catatonic people were held in jail cells. A guard sitting in a chair doing not much as we just waltzed in. We tried to grill him for info, but he heard something further down that we wanted to investigate it. This turned out to be a gargantuan sick bird of sorts. All we knew was that it was hostile and wanted us dead. And this is where kobold lovers showed their true colors. You see, due to emergency situations, 2 of our players had to drop the session. Not too bad, right? Maybe.
Oh.
But those were the fighter and the monk.
Oh no.
The only close combat fighters in the group. Everyone else was either a caster or an archer, with me being the last one on the front line. And while I did find it epic to have to hold back this massive creature on my own, fighting it tooth and nail to hold it back and kill it, what no one could understand was the kobold lover's decision-making process.
Instead of doing one of the key features that all bards could do, inspire courage, bardic music, and casting spells, he pulled out his short bow and began to plip at the burb for 1d6 damage. At least insult it. Because if you succeed, then in 5e anyway, I don't know about 3.5. I don't know about 3.5. If I search 3.5 Vicious Mockery, am I going to get anything?
Vicious Mockery wasn't even in 3.5, it turns out.
Okay, it seems. Wait. I think I found it. Vicious Mockery 3.5 spell. Oh, wait, no, that's a homebrew. That's a homebrew version of it. Never mind. Vicious Mockery wasn't in 3.5e,
Yeah,
apparently.
there was no such thing as that in 3.5e.
Okay, never mind. At least cast a spell, though.
At least inspire him.
Or that. Whenever he could hit it with his garbage attack stats. Cast a spell. All the while, the rest of the group was either casting spells to keep their sole frontline alive or blasting the beast with magic and debuffs. This went on for 4 more rounds while the whole party nearly died. God damn it. With the kobold lover refusing to do anything helpful until we were all in the single digits. He finally used Inspire Courage for all the good it did, since the beast was nearly dead at this stage too. There's a reason I've been using my stuff near the beginning of combat to help people. Or in combat against multiple opponents.
Don't save it for the end, dude.
Yeah, don't do that. And the burb, after the burb, there was a surprise ambush by 9 skeletons that ended with a perfect turn undead from our cleric that saved HR from getting slaughtered. Victory snatched from the jaws of... What?
It sounds like even the DM was kind of mad about that dude not really getting hurt or doing anything. So he's like, all right, I'm going to toss in some skeletons to, damage him down some.
Focused on him.
Yeah.
That ended with a perfect turn undead, victory snatch from the jaws of defeat, and no one was dead. A total win with no help from the kobold lover.
So no, I later learned from the others he tends to play blast characters, and the only reason he was a bard illusionist was because he heard about how good it could be in another game and tried to do it in this game to far less effect.
This is why you need to talk with the DM about settings, something I should have done with my first game of D&D. Because Tom didn't tell me anything about the setting.
Yeah, and then you just, became a demon, right? Or is this a different thing?
Well, I was always, but that's why I didn't find out until I think the second session that humans were extinct, because he didn't tell me.
I at least knew that, dude.
He told everyone else. It was never mentioned to me.
Oh, I guess we asked a bit more, didn't we, then?
Well, I was thinking, okay, if there's anything important, he's going to tell me about the setting. Anything important concerning the setting, he's going to tell me.
Nope.
Apparently not.
Yeah, that's right. We're calling you out, Tom.
Yeah, we're calling you out, Tom.
Come on, Tom.
As we all know, I'm the superior DM. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
It's hard to compare you guys because you'll play as 2 different DMs. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I haven't done much of a roleplay heavy DM thing, which I'm planning on doing with the Planeswalker one.
It's not even that. It's just you like to make things a bit too challenging, I feel. You like to make everything feel like it's life or death, but Tom's just like, I'm gonna throw in a couple, small things, and then, oops, here's a skeleton that almost kills our bard. No big deal.
Well, okay, the life or death thing is more with monster of every other week.
Yeah.
With the Monster Hunter one, that's more accidental. Or that's just up to the rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget, the monster that was supposed to be hard was easy for you, and the monster that was supposed to be easy nearly killed the party.
Yeah.
If this was the only time he would be this stupid, it would have been fine. But now it gets worse. Now it gets much, much worse.
After we head back to the prison to lick our wounds, we talked to the guard some more before our wizard and rogue uncovered magical traps underneath the guard that would do something bad if we mess with them or the guard in any way. The discovery itself almost sprung the trap. It was that sensitive.
Jesus.
But you see, the DM revealed to us that the guard had a plate of never-ending sandwiches, which is why he could always be on guard.
Does he also have a chamber pot under him?
And Kobold Lover really wanted that plate. So, despite the warnings from everyone, he tried to charm the guard to force him to give him the plate. The guard, surrounded by traps that would go off if you ever studied its arcane construction, let alone cast magic near it. What if you just ask him if you could have the plate?
Yeah, that probably would have gone better.
Or
I
just
mean,
been
if you're
like,
gonna charm him, do it like, just like do a charisma.
just be like, hey, I mean,
Hey, big boy.
hey, big boy, I see you. Even if you don't get the plate, just get 20 million sandwiches and then leave. But yeah, is it my line
Uh,
or you know?
no, it's now mine. You just finished yours.
Hey, big boy, I want to get big too, so why don't you give me that sandwich plate?
Sazerac starts doing a strip tease for the sandwich plate.
Well,
Tick.
Shazer's. This sounds like a Ruru moment, let's be real.
No, you just use the stripping incubus for a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Tick, tick, boom. The whole group gets blasted, with me and Bard getting the worst of it because the others had made a dash from the circle once they knew what was going to happen. No one died. Barely. Not content with this, seeing as how his own idiocy ruined not only our only lead, but the oh-so-valuable magic sandwich plate. The next day, we try and break the prisoners out, resulting in the rogue with a near maximum disable device getting fried for 6d6 lightning damage. Jesus. Seeing this, the bard hands HR a short spear and tells me to stab it into the door and yank it out. When the group asks what he is thinking, he metagames. He says with my strength and health, 1d6 per round will mean nothing. Yes, he said 1d6, not CD6. Hadn't even been listening. How do you miss that?
I don't know.
You take 32 damage. You'll be fine. It's only 1d6. As the group is yelling at Kobold Lover, he looks at the spear and rolls dice. And since the bard, HR looks at the spear and rolls dice. And since the bard has proven a bad ally and worst friend, he at this point has a -3.
Dice. 3 minus 3 equals 0.
I proceed to roar in rage and roll to stab since the bard is right in front of me.
Dice. 20. Confirmed the crit.
Kobold Lover, what the fuck?
Damage dice. 6 plus 10 times 2 equals 32.
Bard cell 34 minus 32 equals 2.
The cleric is able to break up the near murder and calm HR down, and the kobold lover was forced to heal himself since no one seemed to think my barbarian was in the wrong for stabbing the guy who more or less ordered him to stick his hand in a running electric fence.
Yeah, sounds about right. But the best part is the last thing he would do in the game. And this group in general. By this point, he was on everyone's nerves, and most importantly, the DMs, who I later learned had a massive grudge with Kobold Lover since he had ruined a previous 3.5 game they both played in. Oh boy. And it all came to a head after we fought a giant worm beast thing whose corpse was disappeared by a mysterious and most definitely evil and powerful wizard who seemed to find us amusing. The amusement ended when he was about to leave. The bard insulted and shot at him with his short bow and rolled a natural 1. You don't fight the evil, powerful dude who finds you amusing.
Oh my! This reminds me of the time that somebody in our party did that. This dude literally was saying 1v1 me. So we obliged with it and all 1v1 him, and each one of us fell.
Yeah.
But being a good sport, he didn't murder us.
Yeah.
And after being that good sport and even calling off the dragon attacking the city, that guy shot him with like a bow or like an ice spike or something because he's like a wizard. That he hits the guy, but he turns around and chucks it right back through him and almost kills him.
Jesus. Oh god.
I don't get why people like to attack the big bad evil guy so early in the game. Ugh.
Especially when it's something where they've easily showed that you're not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is something that you're supposed to deal with later. It's like, no, shoot him.
Yeah. Even our 2 fighters could even get through it, so I don't know why our sorcerer was attacking him. Most of the party was slowly leaving the room at this point because they didn't want to die, with me and the party ranger holding the line in case the shit went down. As the monk carried off the bard before he could do something worse, I made a choice, picking up the ranger and throwing him back to the group so at least he would survive what I was sure was a futile last stand to hold the beanbag evil guy for a turn. And as the group hid around the corner, just peeking their heads in to see what would happen, the wizard approached to just out of chopping range, and then laughed and congratulated me for my courage before sending my barbarian to his knees as he called him his real name and begun to name off his horrid sins.
I knew a good scene when I saw it, and had my, at this point, creature of bestial rage break down. As the BBG taunted me and teleported away, and the group began to wander back in as we all had a pretty good moment.
Which was ruined when the kobold lover began to break out in laughter and say, "This little gem."
What the hell is this? You're acting like such a Fagier, Rortherntheweeper.
And that's when the game just stopped. No joke. Everyone just stopped playing and started screaming at the kobold lover for being completely out of line. Even the monk who usually tolerated his shit began to call him out. He then left in a huff. He later came back and said he'd like to quit because he was bored and wanted to be a part of another game that was coming up. No one shed any tears. The instant he left, the DM describes how the bard explodes into coins after his comment about the big bad evil guy being a homo, which was, yes, another actual comment this guy actually said, and gave me a cursed item, the skull of the furry bard. -2 charisma, +2 to hit.
Later on, the guy would proceed to do some more nasty things and later get kicked from another game before he had a massive meltdown and left the group for good. If only he was the last guy we'd get for this game.
Edit. Math.
Edit number 2. Since others think I'm mocking Kobold Lover for being a furry/scaly, I provided a better description up above for why he has the name. No, I got nothing against furries. This dude is the only one I've known so far to be this trash of a human being.
Edit 3, part 2.
Yep. Which we will now start. Oh, I'm dying.
I need a medic bag!
I need you. Oh. Oh, God. A Temple of Elemental Evil run, that guy number 2, or I reject your reality and substitute my own.
I reject my humanity, Jojo.
Oh, God, I'm hiccuping now.
You gonna be able to get through this with all them hiccups?
Yeah, little context for why this next guy, why this next that guy is here. Okay, you entertain the lovelies. I'm gonna get a cough drop.
You want me to entertain the lovelies? Well,
Entertain
first
the
of all,
lovelies.
I am incredibly offended that you stole that name from Game Grumps. Second of all, how
why
do we know
would
that
I
they're...
not want to emulate Dan? Why would I not?
Hey, man, we can't just go calling them lovelies, though. That's just a stealing from them directly. Lovely.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've copied other people a lot with other things I've said. Do you have a better descriptor?
Hold on. I'm going to... Let's see. I'm going to look up synonyms for lovely and see what we get. Let's see. Adorbs is... Why is adorbs a word? And I hope that hasn't become an actual word. Let's see.
Why would adorbs not be a word? It's just a contraction of adorable.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You entertain the adorables.
Pulchitudianos. I'm going to call you Pulchers. You know, like Poltergeist or Vultures, but, you know, Pulchers or Pulchies. Pulchitudianus. Either way, I wonder how people really feel about doing that. I mean, I wonder if... I'm pretty sure other people have called people lovelies at some point, but, like, you know... Did Dan call them that first? Was it something else? I'm not really sure. I'm not really good at this whole, you know, being nice to people thing. I like to just be an asshole San Andre, not, you know, a nice person. So this really isn't something, you know. Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. Speaking of Dan, the definition for pulchritudinous is a Dan gazed admiringly at the pulchrinuditous brunette. So, you know, maybe Dan calls some people a lot of things. Oh, I thought I heard. Oh, that's a door closing. Door. Close. I found another word.
I'm back.
Hello? I found another word.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna put it in the chat because I don't know how to say that properly.
Oh, God.
I say we call them pulchers or pulchies.
The pulchritudinous masses?
Yeah, the pulchritudinous masses. Hello, all you pulchritudinous masses. Welcome to What Are We Reading?
Oh, you pulchritudinous listeners. I
Mhm.
want to set lovelies again.
You lovely
does that mean?
pulchritudinous. What? It literally just means beautiful.
Oh, what do you
Like,
know?
here's like the example. Dan gazed admiringly at the pulchritudinous brunette.
Pulchritudinous?
Yeah, pulchritudinous. Like literally, it literally just means beautiful.
What do you know? All right, all you pulchritudinous listeners.
You know what? Just call them pulchritudinous lovelies. I actually like that.
Beautiful lovelies.
Yes, they're just beautiful lovelies.
Or pulchritudinous lovelies.
Yes,
You read your
that's.
line?
I think maybe. What's my line again?
It's 100% my fault.
It's 100% my fault.
While the temple game was running, I was also a part of a Roll20 Discord group for what was supposed to be a dark gothic Victorian setting in D&D 3.5. For reasons related to drama and the GM's own poor scheduling habits, the group broke apart before the gaming happened. Jesus.
That sucks.
Probably a good thing, because beyond one delicate little snowflake who I refused to say anything bad about, this group was mostly that guys of some degree. That's the first time I've ever heard snowflake used as a compliment.
It was probably a really shy, sensitive person who, probably
That's
wouldn't
what
do
my
well with
guess
a
is.
bunch of that guys.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you look at the sentence structure, that's not an insult.
Yeah. It's if you replace precious, it could have. Yeah, it's usually precious when people say it in a negative context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the people saying it are also typically the most easily offended people you'll ever find.
Yeah.
But since we now had a free spot in the temple game, I tried to recruit one of the better members of the group. A young guy I'll call OC because of what his character was.
Is it Cold Steel?
It's Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
He was a white porcelain mask and trench coat wearing mute human fighter who swung around a large bastard sword one-handed, who could use a large weapon because he's 7'11". And that was close enough.
No, it's not.
Who said he didn't have a name but a title, the Junkyard Dog, and how he wandered the earth to avenge his fallen master. Yeah, it reminded me of my first ever attempt to write A-name fanfiction.
Anime. Oh, God.
Do you know what the Junkyard Dog is?
What?
It's a weapon. A weapon that is used by sole bad guy in Guilty Gear. Junkyard Dog's his weapon.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it a Guilty Gear reference?
Not guilty. Yeah, guilt. It could be.
Oh my God.
I mean, the actual he's not playing as he's not
Yeah,
playing
he's
as
not
Soul
playing
Bad Guy.
as Soul Bad Guy. Soul Bad Guy doesn't wear a white porcelain mask and trench coat, and I don't think he's 7'11".
He's let's see. I'm actually gonna look up how tall he is.
He's
real
a
quick.
big boy, but I don't think he's 7'11".
Let's see. He's 184 centimeters. So he is 6
That's
foot. He
right
is not
around 6
7.
foot. Yeah, that's right around 6 foot.
He's still
2
a
meters
big
is-
lad. Yeah.
Yeah, because 2 meters is about 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
In the end, though, he was a first-timer and seemed to be around 14 to 15, so I figured that maybe his weird tendencies were just due to awkwardness / lack of experience, and gaming with him would make things easier for all of us. I have never been so wrong.
The group was wary of OC, but I was brought into the group by a fellow member to fill a void, so they decided to go with it since by now we were all pretty cool with each other, and I and later the group's resident D&D expert helped him readjust his character to the campaign we were in so the different settings were lower level and his sheet was hot garbage full of homebrew.
Oh god.
This was way more stats, health, and skill points than he could have. The dude spent hours helping OC work with 3.5 and understand a lot of its mechanics, features, and how to make character sheets. It didn't matter much since when he showed up again, he told us he had forgot to do the changes and just asked to use his sheet and character as is. The DM allowed it, big mistake.
Yeah.
We marched forward. The sign this was going to end horribly, though, was when OC replied, "Okay, Papa," in a weird submissive tone of voice. Complete silence from the group before the DM said, "Don't call me that ever again." Disgust dripping from his voice. The DM is in his early mid-20s and OC is in 15, so yeah, weird. Ugh, yeah, ugh.
I doubt he would like it when you call him Big Papa. I can't remember what song that's from.
Oh my gosh. I just want to make a campaign where I'm a cleric, but my resident god, it's the actual DM.
Okay.
And it's just my character constantly yelling at the sky whenever they miss.
So what's your god? The Demiurge.
The Demiurge.
It's basically the idea of just an all creator that isn't something that's worshipped, but instead is more just a passive figure who made the universe.
Yeah. I worship that, but it doesn't want to be worshipped. I don't care. Just imagine it though. Every time you get like a nat 1, you just curse the sky.
Honestly, knowing me, if I decided to play a cleric character, I'd be the jackass who decides to try and find a fertility god.
That's fine. My next cleric's gonna be an asshole who's
hates fish.
Hates fish. Yeah, fish
Yep.
and fish people.
And you're going to a plane where one of the guilds just decides to like bioengineer people using fish.
As long as they don't touch him, he'll be fine. He won't join that guild at all, though.
First thing I should mention about OC's character is that it was a fighter. A very bad fighter. Oh boy. He had garbage mental stats, but high strength for his one-handed bastard sword to go along with his tower shield. I'm not going to say anything about the tower shield because so far the one person I do know that has used a tower shield, Michael. You've all some of you have likely heard him before during the holiday special. Good guy, and like the way he used the tower shield was actually pretty cool and inventive.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to dig on the tower shield. I am going to dig on the oversized one-handed bastard sword, though. What the actual fuck?
Yeah,
7'11" does not qualify you as a large creature.
I'm more concerned about the fact that he was one-handing a huge sword and a tower shield at the same time.
Yeah. Well, he said, "Oh, I'm 7'11", so I'm close enough to a large creature, so I can use a large weapon."
One-handedly? No.
Yeah, no. He used a homebrew light armor trench coat and mask along with, I kid you not, a fedora.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh no.
This gives me the perfect idea for a character, though.
What?
A half-giant that's stubbornly trying to use giant weapons like their parents, but like their mother or father, but they can't do it properly.
At some point, I'd like to do, because I found home for large size characters and stuff like that, and I'd like to do that, but just not now.
Yeah.
He also liked to make weird golem-like noises, even when people asked him to stop. Kept a bag of never-ending jelly beans, even though the DM said jelly beans did not exist in this world. It kept calling the DM Papa. He doesn't like it when you call him Big Papa.
Please stop.
Much to his disgust. He never participated in group talk, but liked to do lol random stuff to interrupt others.
During his first battle with the group, we were fighting black puddings.
Oh boy.
His first action was to run forward and to slice one after the cleric told him what they did to weapons, of course. Cue the sword melting away to OC's surprise.
Yeah, they eat metal. They're basically like the ooze equivalent of a rust monster.
I'm just picturing them. I thought he was going to run forward and try to eat it.
Oh, God. You may melt metal, but you don't melt stomachs.
Now watch as my stomach melts you!
It's okay. I have a spare. Pulls a second bastard sword from ass.
No, you don't. Your sheet says you only have one.
I told you I have a spare. He continues even as we stare dead ahead at his character sheet. I think the DM was shorting out because he was just kind of gaping before saying whatever.
The battle was won and we got a magical flaming longsword. No one else wanted it, so I handed it to OC, who then proceeded to say,
I placed the sword to my faceplate and began to sniff deeply.
DM, the sword ignites, rolls 1d6. You take 4 fire damage. The sword doesn't like you.
I pick it up and do it again. Boy. If the sword don't like you, the sword don't like you.
Yeah.
If the sword don't like you, you don't swing that one around.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago.
Do you normally have cursed swords at your house or something?
Not
Alright, you're not much of a gun guy. Of course you'd know a lot more about swords.
Not after the incident. Again, I prefer shovels.
Alright.
Very versatile.
Honestly, me and Tom in a Homestar campaign sounds terrifying because I just think it'd be gun.
Oh God. Knowing Tom, yeah.
Lots and lots of gun.
The GM didn't even react this time. It just gave us our EXP before he left. No one said anything, but I felt terrible. Thankfully, he didn't show up for the next session, but not much happened. He returned for the second and last time, once again, having the same broken sheet for what would be one of the most defining moments in the campaign and the session, which earned me the rumor that I have a rabbit's foot stuck up my ass.
After miles of rock tunnels, we had found a magical biodome with a forest and a painted sky, giving us false sunlight. Now, anyone with a bit of gaming experience could tell you a big open area that seems empty and peaceful, boss arena. The thinkers come up with a plan to circle to the dome so as to minimize our chances of dying horribly.
And then there's me with just an entire forest, which is all technically a boss arena.
Every area is a boss arena.
It all depends on how poorly you stealth.
Mm-hmm.
And with Anthony...
It all depends on how strong his will is to, surpass Daddy Dearest.
Live.
Yeah. That too.
Laughing about the Nurse Scylla incident. Alright. Bjorn manages to get out of the web. I run forward and attack it with my sword.
Everyone else in the party.
Everyone else in the party in the process of escaping. I was helping you get out. I was out.
We all need to have a talk with him.
As they were talking, OC moves his token further in without any support.
Monk, what are you doing?
OC, I want to find oranges.
Monk, rolls spot 16. GM, are there any orange?
No.
But I have to find oranges.
Ignoring the argument, I ask the DM if I could roll a spot check. He agrees, and I get my first nat 20 of the night. He describes how I see hidden further in the bushes a large figure who's making its way towards the group.
It's a giant razor boar, and guess who's the closest target?
Oh shit. Amazingly, the boar rolls shit on attacks, and with OC's pretty high AC, he doesn't immediately die.
First on the initiative was HR, another nat 20, and seeing this as the best way to get a labor, I charge ahead with my great axe, roll to hit.
I mean, if memory serves, one of Heracles' labors was, in fact, one of the boars, like a giant boar.
Yeah?
It might have been one of the ones formerly owned by Artemis. Either that or the one Atalanta hunted was one of the ones formed by Artemis. But both of them were massive. And one of them had a mouthful of fire and lightning, so...
This is going to turn out really badly soon, isn't it?
This encounter? Good chance. Dice, 20, confirm the hit. I mean, confirm the crit.
Nice crit confirmed, dude. Damage dice, 11 plus 10 times 3 is 63.
Oh, God. Round rotation, and the boar still misses everything. I feel that. While the rest of the group rushes into range to fight.
Dice 20. Oh my god. Confirm the crit.
Damage dice. 7 plus 10 times 3 equals 51.
Hold on.
What?
Sorry, where are we?
High on my own success.
Yeah, high on my own success. I asked the DM if, since I've just brought this thing to near death, if I could do an intimidation roll.
Sure, you could roll to intimidate.
Cleric, shouldn't you get a circumstance bonus on?
And that's when I roll the second nat 20 that turn.
The DM is silent before he describes how the beast looks into my eyes and falls to the ground cowering as it tries to roll over and show me its belly. A sign of complete domination and surrender. I roar IRL.
Considering how boars are, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on those boars in Italy who ended up getting into a stash of cocaine.
Oh no! Cocaine boars.
God, that's truly terrifying. If that happened to the US, it'd be all over. The boars would win.
Well, yeah. There's 15 to 20 wild hogs outside. Just imagine what 15 to 20 cocained up boars would do.
It's like the boar equivalent to the Viking berserkers, where they would basically take this one concoction of drugs and you just go into a mindless rage state. But it's boars and cocaine. Just a slight nosebleed.
A slight nosebleed is all he gets at the end of the battle too. Nothing's touched him.
Oh, it's just the boar just faces up and a rolled up $100 bill falls out of its nose. Oh shit. It just starts screeching and charges you.
I could just picture everyone just looking at it, just freezing oh no.
How does cocaine affect the eyes?
How does cocaine affect animals?
Well, I was gonna check. It dilates them.
Oh, alright.
Oh god, so basically just the pupils in the boar's eyes just expand as it looks up at you.
That's you slowly try to back away as you realize what's happening.
The $100 bill falls out of its nose and it just stomps on it. Kind of grinds it into the ground with its hoof.
Just the sudden realization and dread as somebody's faces are just oh no. Why the boar?
Oh god. Oh, this seems like it'd be a hilarious encounter for a game.
Yeah.
How exactly do you factor in the effects of cocaine on a boar? Do you give it a multi-attack?
Cocaine, D&D. Cocaine 5th edition homebrew. Let's see.
Oh god.
Plus 10 movement speed, advantage on dexterity, strength saving throws, and rolling for initiative. Disadvantage on wisdom and intelligence saves. Target cannot sleep while under its effects, and magical sleep will not work. Last 1 minute. Attempting to use blah 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 within 12 hours of previous use triggers a con save for addiction. A crit failure triggers an overdose.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
I was really hoping that it gave an extra attack.
Well, no, it's not even actual cocaine. It's called fairy dust, so you could probably give it
Yeah.
something else. It's just I think just a basic spreadsheet of how you can do addiction in D&D.
Or add in the whole Wounded Fury thing towards an extra damage die.
Mm-hmm.
The group is lapping this all up, celebrating, having once again survived what we knew was supposed to be an encounter that was supposed to kill at least 2 of us, since we were not even level 6 yet.
Mood.
Okay, I'm
That's
not
mood.
that bad.
It's not about being that bad. It's just every once in a while something like this happens.
That was the Great Jagras killing everyone. This just crushes everyone into dust.
Yeah. As the group pops out some ale, HR takes out his carving knife and begins to carve his name in Orcish into the boar's hide, a sign of his labor accomplished.
This is when OC decided that he doesn't want to keep breathing anymore. He takes out his sword, rushes towards me, and says he's going to yank the knife out of my hand, saying it is wrong to hurt animals.
At this point, the DM stops the game and asks, "Are you sure?" After he says yes, the DM tells him to make a wisdom save. He rolls like a 16.
You know it's bad when the "are you sure" comes from you trying to attack another character.
Mm-hmm.
Another player.
Yeah.
At this point, the DM says, deadpanning, "This is a bad idea. You have a good feeling that this is going to end very badly if you do this."
I don't care, I still do it. At this point, the DM was just done with him and effectively gives up trying to stop the suicide by Barbarian.
Jesus Christ. I'm just thinking now, like, if I had been playing, like, the mad scientist character, my immediate thought would be to buff the person I like.
This is the part where Ruru would, like, teleport behind you and just stab you in the neck.
The person who's starting the fight.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining, oh, this seems like a great learning opportunity. Cast haste on Barbarian.
Ruru's off to the side like, let's see, I don't need to step in, but I really don't. Stab.
It's like to use this to gain data. Haste.
Let's see what happens.
On the Barbarian. Now he gets an extra attack. And he's faster. By now, I've finally broken character and tell him this could end with me turning hostile because he's threatening me, and this is really, really important to HR. He says it does not matter, it does it anyway. Also, the animal attacked you. I think at that point, it's usually fair game.
Yeah. The monk, who by this point had sort of been acting as one of my handlers along with the cleric, argues that the boar had just been trying to kill us. OC argues, but now since it's not fighting back, it's animal abuse. The monk explains some of the stuff related to me needing to accomplish great deeds to free myself from the madness, but the OC still says it's wrong to kill a defenseless animal, which I never once said I was going to do.
This ain't a defenseless animal. It was high level. Also, hold me back. I'm just imagining, like, the barbarian going to fight while the monk and the cleric are just, like, have a hold of each arm with the barbarians just yelling, hold me back! Hold me back!
I'm gonna break this boy, hold me back.
Hold me back, I'm gonna snap him in half. By this point, OC is in HR's face and says that unless I stop, he's going to attack, and so I have HR roll to see how he reacts to both him trying to interfere with my labor and threatening me. Since by this point he'd done nothing to endear himself to the party and is actively threatening me, he gets a -7.
4 minus 7 is -3.
Oh no. I rolled a grapple. That freaking 20. OC, 10. At this point, I'm just restraining him and doing a bit of non-lethal choking / crushing damage. since I was hoping someone could de-escalate this in-game. At this point, the group tries to calm him down like they did before. And it almost works. Until, with only the cleric and wizard seeming to care at this point, with the monk actively encouraging me to kill OC. See, the monk is like that mad scientist character. Do it for research. Since he never liked this ingrate, this is when I stopped doing non-lethal.
Just say it was a bloodbath would have been undercutting it. OC tries to fight back, but he has some of the coldest freaking rules I've ever seen. And for every 4 to 6 year old, I rolled an 18, 19, or even a 20.
The gods of chance are smiling down upon HR.
Human resources is here to get rid of the problem.
Stop with the harassment. It finally ends when I do a Sir Gregor Clagon to OC, crushing his head and mask. The DM jokingly calling out to stop because he's already dead. OC tries to get some sort of dignity from his death by describing how, as his jelly beans fall out from his coat, his mask cracks as a load tier falls.
The monk laughing his ass off, dude. He already described how he crushed your head like a grapefruit. Your mask is gone. You're dead.
And DM, and like I said, you don't have any jelly beans.
The session ends a minute or two later with experience for all, even OC. We asked him if he wanted to make another character, but he refused and said he wasn't feeling the game anymore. He accepted and he left. Afterwards, I apologized for letting both OC in and letting this get out of hand, but everyone said that they were fine with it since they thought the ending was hilarious.
Also, why not just say sweets? Why not just go nondescript sweets?
Because a little random.
Do you have any sweets in your pocket? Apparently. No, apparently. Trying to grab sweets from own pocket.
No.
Fire!
Suddenly, fire!
Like, I even admit that was a stupid thing for me to do, but it felt right.
Hey, I was doing stupid things that entire session, dude. I deserved that.
I set the fire inside my own pocket on fire. Realize that catches your own pocket on fire. Yes.
I just want the pain to stop.
Later that night at 3 a.m. or such, OC would pop in, only to leave a long manifesto telling us how we were all terrible and evil people for hurting animals, allowing PvP. You started the fight. And a bunch of other things that he felt slighted by. When we saw it in the morning, we all had a laugh. DM gave me another cursed item. Cursed mask of the weeb, -1 wisdom, +2 armor class.
Final notes. While this didn't have to end in PvP and me killing his character, in all fairness, it cannot be said that the group didn't try to stop him, nor did we make our grievances hidden beforehand. In the end, he was just a big fuck up. He ignored all advice, ignored all help, ignored all criticism, ignored the GM, the players, reality itself, and lost everything for it. Was the end harsh? Maybe, but he refused to accept the game for what it was and only cared for what he wanted, so the group was very happy to see him go. All in all, still better than the last guy, but I hope to never game with him again.
The game ended later when the GM had real life get in the way, but we had a great time until then. Having fought many a great monster and saved many lives. We all still game together and have not had a single PvP since. It's serious PvP at the least. I set my pocket on fire. But those stories are for another day. Also, apparently Kuga is upset that we were sharing Gaston memes when he wasn't there.
Oh, sucks to be Kuga then. Haha.
Yeah. Anyway, I
Yeah.
guess Zane read his last line. The
Yeah,
edit, grammar, and
sentence
sentence structuring.
structure. Yeah.
Anyway, this has been, I guess, the Temple of Evil Elemental Run series.
Yeah.
These are some great stories, honestly.
Yeah.
And like I said, you don't have any jelly beans. That's just how.
One day I'll have
Yeah,
a
like
character of jelly beans.
yeah, just say sweets. It's not that hard. Tia will probably let you do it. Assume you picked them out of a bowl or something.
He had an infinite bag though, that's the problem.
Yeah, that is a bit weird. But
But the
yeah.
only thing filling that bag was his infinite stupidity.
Oh shit! Almost forgot. Okay.
Oh right,
Special
yeah.
thank you. Special thank you to Destiny Baird for supporting us. If you want to get a shout out either on screen now, as you probably can see, depending on how long this takes, or verbally, like you just heard, feel free to visit our Patreon, donate to our Patreon. Links in the description. You get your name on screen for as little as $1 a month. And there are additional perks if you decide you want to pay more. Oh,
I still
darn.
haven't seen Destiny Baird come up for any of my surprises yet, so until you come to one of them, I'm not giving you any more surprises.
I mean, they're in another state. Anyway, see ya. Special thank you as well to Jillian A.